I got a lot of comments on my YouTube, and that's why I'm doing this video. I want to show you why I called this block junk. So I'm going to pull the motor that we threw away out of our metal scrap bin and kind of talk to you about it. So what I really want to teach you today is about holes. Sometimes they can be fixed. Sometimes it's cost prohibitive. Can they always be fixed? I'd say yes, they can always be fixed. But is it cost prohibitive? A lot of times it is. The 6.7 motor, they're so common, the cores aren't hard to find. So it becomes a matter of, cost. And one of the first things I want to tell you is, I only showed you, I wasn't in any way saying anything bad about Jasper. Now, I'm not saying that because Jasper gave me a phone call. Jasper don't even know I exist. Are you kidding me? I'm like a fly compared to those guys. That has nothing to do why this motor went bad. So let's just clear that up right now. I'm not saying they built a bad product. I've never seen any of their work where I'd go, oh my gosh, that's terrible. A lot of people had bad things to say about them, but I think that's just part of the business. You know, people want to, say bad things about other people. It's just the world we live in. But I found nothing wrong on this motor that Jasper specifically did. But let's take it over to the shop. So come on around here, I want to show you. Now this is the main that's spun in this block. This is the same motor that everybody's got a lot of comments on, and I really appreciate the comments. Now what I won't say I don't appreciate it, because I think a lot of people don't have they just don't know any better, but they just say they just attack me by saying, I'm ripping people off. Well, let's get some facts here, okay? First off, when a bearing spins and it gets a block hot, this is a compacted graphite. This motor is not what they call gray cast iron. It's called compacted graphite. Compacted graphite is a better iron. It's more machinable, it's stronger, but it's got some issues with it. And one of them is, a lot of guys said, well, just weld it up. So I'm gonna weld, I guess what you're thinking is that I would just weld some material in here. Well, I've shown you how you have to weld cast iron. You have to heat up the entire block. You can't just spot heat here and get your TIG welder. Let's lay this block down on its back. Okay, let's take out a cap that hasn't spun a bearing. I'm gonna show you. Okay. This main did not spin a bearing. Now look, you see how tight that is in here? When I say the registers, I'm talking about where it sits and it mounts in the block. Those are called the registers. A cap and a main that is spun, what happens here? Here's a bearing and it's razor sharp, so I'll be really careful. When it spins in a housing, this is one that's spin. And the crankshaft grabs it and it spins it around and like that. So you're actually just taking metal and you're spinning around in that, and you can see how much heat is generated because you see all this blackened area in here. You can see how much heat is penetrated into that cap, and that's what stretches that cap. It does the exact same thing to the blocks. You can see the heat here. Now, my welder, Steve, at Precision Casting Repair tells me that when you have those localized areas of intense heat in cast iron, the carbon mitigates to that area, and the tensile strength of the cast iron surrounding that area is no longer as good. Watch how this will just drop down in there. It's just loose in the registers. You see that? When that happens, what's actually happened is the heat has taken that and it's made the cap go like this. It's grown this way. Now, a lot of guys say, get another cap. So if I took another block that's bad and put a register in there, look, it's done it to the whole block. The register's in here. Is there a fix for it? Now see, when I put it back in one that's not spun, it's really quite tight. Dang it. It's really quite tight. But one that is spun is just, it's just loose as all. And so you could get another cap, off another block, but you've got a ruined block, you know, so you're shucking and jiving. So if I did that and just say, okay, I got another cap, like a good cap out of another block, then I have to fit it in there, and look here, it's still bad. It's still bad. The block has stretched in this area. Could I, if I was a machine shop that didn't want the best quality, could I get away with it? Yes, I could. I could take another cap, I could put it in here, bolt it down, use oversized bearings they offer. Now let's talk about that, because why can't you change? You want to make sure that when you line bore that block, you're not changing the center line, because usually what would happen if you didn't do it right, you would cut material out of the block side, you'd cut material out of the cap side, and because of this block here, you've got to clean all this up. So you're going to take 10 or 20 thousandths out of this. You want to make sure that the center line does not move one way or the other. You want it to be exactly still in the center. Why is that? Let me show you. Because on a diesel motor, if I change the center line where the crankshaft is here, and if I moved it up in the block, look how close my gear teeth are. I can't change that. I'd have the noisiest block, or I'd start to have gear meshing, and it would cause a lot of metal in my oil. So it has to stay perfectly in center of the block. I can't move it this way to the 12 o'clock position. I can't move it too far away to 6 o'clock position, move it to 9 or 3. It's got to be put back in the same way. So they do a lot of blocks, in the 6.7 does offer oversized OD bearings. Let me show you what I mean by that. So here's an old set of bearings out of a motor. This is the bottom. This is where the oil comes through. That's why it has a hole here, so the oil can come through and charge the main. And here's where the other bearing would go through. And what I mean by oversized OD is that now that I'm going to make this hole bigger, keeping the center line exact, what I need is a set of bearings that are larger on the outside to take up that material that I'm going to remove. That's what you can do. And the 6.7, a lot of you guys in the comments said, you know, use oversized bearings. Of course. My whole point here is why I call this block junk, is what I'm trying to show you, is because the registers, see how this will not drop down. I mean, it's a pain in the butt to get that cap down in there. Do you see how I'm not? Now this is a good cap. Do you see how this hasn't dropped down on the register? You got to kind of like knock it down. Do you see that? But the old cap that has been ruined, see how it just drops right down there on the registers? You see that? The block has been stretched this way. I can't fix that, except to heat the entire block up, put welds in here, and welds in here, and then machine all that. I want to stress this about welding cast iron. I don't do it here. I have Steve, a friend of mine at Precision Casting Repair down in Salt Lake, and one of my greatest videos, and a guy I just think is an artist, welds cast iron. And in order to weld a cast iron block like this, to do it properly, you've got to build an oven around this block, get it up to like 1200 degrees, it glowing red hot inside that oven, and it takes a long time to do it. It's just too cost prohibitive when you've got other blocks out there that you can purchase from a salvage yard and repair it. The other option that I want to talk to you about is when a block is ruined. A lot of you brought it up. A lot of the comments were like, get another set of caps, because I've shown you what happens when a block stretches a cap and it's loose in the register. You can get a set of billet caps. Wagler, we love Jeremy. Jeremy makes a great product. Caps, you can get billet caps, but you're going to spend on a set of billet caps $800. Can you get a set of billet caps? And I'll show you a video of how we'll line bore a block with billet caps on it to save a block. You absolutely can, but it becomes cost prohibitive for a customer if they just want a stock motor. But when we do a motor a high performance motor with billet caps and a girdle, you're gonna bore the block anyway. So that is an option. But if it's a stock motor, it's cheaper to get another core. Guys, that's why I'm telling you I didn't fix the block. I want to stress this. I don't want to be prideful. I want to be humble. I want to tell you guys, you know, when I made a mistake. But I condemned this block for that reason. Again, I could put another cap in this block. I could squeeze it down. I could align bore the block. I could put oversized bearings in there like you guys suggested. But I would not have the rigidity. That cap would not be as strong as it needs to be, and I wouldn't feel comfortable about doing that for a customer. Hence, the block to me is junk. A lesser machine shop could do that and probably collect money. I've really enjoyed sleeping really good at night for 35 years. That's why, okay, I won't do that. Now, when I say I junked the block, no, not the whole core is junk, just the block, okay? And I hope I've cleared up why I call that junk. Some machine shops might not call that junk. I call that junk if I don't feel that the strength of it, or if I feel the strength of it has been compromised because of that heat. What can I save? The crank, as long as I don't have to turn the mains more than 20. If I go to 20 on mains on a 6.7, won't use it. I'll go to 10, but I won't go 20 over. Because I believe that by the time we get the right radiuses back on the crank and the smaller journal, it does not have the strength that I want in my blocks. The cylinder heads, of course, are fine. In fact, we're already into resurfacing. These, we're actually doing the exhaust manifold surfaces on. A lot of machine shops won't even catch these. I'll use my end mill on these. They get pitted real bad, and I'll resurface the exhaust side. Of course, I'll do the head side, and we'll do a full valve job on it. The rods, the connecting rods are still serviceable. I'll save those, and the other parts. So, and we'll give customer credit on that. But the block itself, it's less than optimal, and that's junk for my customers.